Listening to it today, very emotional, very much,
Sad.
yeah, with meaning.
Dionne Warwick, a name synonymous with timeless hits like Walk On By and I Say a Little Prayer, has captivated audiences for over 6 decades. As one of the best-selling female recording artists of all time, with 100 million albums sold and 6 Grammys, including a prestigious Lifetime Achievement Award. But behind the glitz and glamour, there's a sad story that might surprise you. Behind the fame, Dionne has faced deep personal struggles, from the heartbreaking loss of her cousin, Whitney Houston, to addiction, to enduring financial difficulties that led her to file for bankruptcy in 2013. Her personal life was also marked by a painful divorce, and now, in her 80s, she's navigating the challenges of aging in an industry that often forgets its legends. Stay with us as we uncover the sad, untold story of Dionne Warwick. Before we get more into her sad tragedies, which will not only shock you but will break your heart, how about we go back in time to how she grew to experience several unfortunate events eventually? Marie Dionne Warwick, born to Arthur Lee Drinkard and Mansell Warwick, was raised in East Orange, New Jersey. Her mother managed the Drinkard Singers, while her father held several roles, including a Pullman porter, chef, record promoter, and CPA. Dionne was named after her maternal aunt and grew up with a sister, Delia, who passed away in 2008, and a brother, Mansell Jr., who tragically died in an accident in 1968 at just 21 years old. Dionne's heritage includes African American, Native American, and Dutch roots. From an early age, Dionne was drawn to music, singing gospel at the New Hope Baptist Church in Newark, New Jersey. After graduating from East Orange High School in 1959, she pursued her passion for music at the Hart College of Music in Connecticut. She began her career by providing backing vocals for recording sessions in New York City, where she met renowned composer Burt Bacharach. This meeting led to her recording demos for songs written by Bacharach and lyricist Hal David, eventually landing her own record deal and launching her legendary career, Drinkard Singers. Many members of Dionne Warwick's family were part of the Drinkard Singers, a gospel group and RCA recording artists known for their performances around the New York metropolitan area. The original group, called the Drinkard Jubilaires, featured Sissy, Ann, Larry, and Nikki, and later included Dionne's grandparents, Nicholas and Delia Drinkard, as well as their children, William, Lee, Dionne's mother, and Handsome. It was with this group that Dionne made her television debut on TV Gospel Time. Marie, Dionne's mother, took on the role of directing the group, and they were managed by Lee. As the group gained popularity, Lee and Marie began performing alongside them, eventually adding pop and R&B singer Judy Clay, whom Lee had unofficially adopted. The Drinkard Singers' success even caught the attention of Elvis Presley, who expressed interest in having them join his touring entourage, the Gospelaires. Over time, other talented singers joined the Gospelaires, including Judy Clay, Sissy Houston, mother of Whitney Houston, and Doris Ricky Troy, whose hit Just One Look, 1963, featured backing vocals from the group. After Dionne and Doris left to pursue solo careers, the Gospelaires evolved into the Sweet Inspirations, a group that found some chart success but became widely recognized as sought-after studio background singers. The group's harmonies graced recordings by notable artists like Garnet Mims, The Drifters, Jerry Butler, Solomon Burke, Aretha Franklin, Elvis Presley, and later, Dionne Warwick's own solo projects. In a 2002 biography interview, Warwick fondly recalled a pivotal moment in her early career. She described how, at the Apollo Theater, a frantic man backstage asked for background singers for a session with Sam the Man Taylor. Warwick spoke up, and the group ended up doing the session. She remarked, "I wish I remembered the gentleman's name because he was responsible for the beginning of my professional career." This chance encounter launched the group into high demand for background vocals on recordings throughout New York. Soon, the group became the go-to vocalists for many top artists, having worked with the Drifters, Ben E. King, Chuck Jackson, Dinah Washington, Ronnie the Hawk Hawkins, and Solomon Burke, among others. Warwick recalled that after school, she and the other girls would catch a bus from East Orange to the Port Authority terminal, take the subway to the studios in Manhattan, sing, and still make it home in time to do their homework. All this while Warwick continued her studies at the Hart School of Music. Discovery. While performing background vocals on the Drifters' 1962 track Mexican Divorce, Dionne Warwick's voice and undeniable presence caught the attention of Burt Bacharach, the renowned Brill-Building songwriter. Bacharach, who was collaborating with lyricist Hal David, was impressed by Warwick's vocal range. In a 1967 Time article, he described her voice as having a tremendous strong side and a delicacy when singing softly, like miniature ships in bottles. He went on to praise her ability to evoke emotion, saying she wasn't afraid to take musical risks. During the session, Bacharach offered Warwick the opportunity to record demo versions of his songs, paying her $12.50 per session, roughly $130 today. One demo, It's Love That Really Counts, caught the attention of Florence Greenberg, president of Scepter Records. Greenberg was so taken with Warwick's voice that she told Bacharach, "Forget the song, get the girl." In 1962, Warwick signed with Bacharach and David's production company, which in turn was signed to Scepter Records by Greenberg. This partnership gave Bacharach the freedom to produce Warwick without interference from label executives. Warwick's musical education and abilities allowed Bacharach to create more complex songs for her. The demo version of It's Love That Really Counts, along with her original recording of Make It Easy on Yourself, would later appear on Warwick's debut album, Presenting Dionne Warwick, released in early 1963. Early stardom. In November 1962, Dionne Warwick released her first solo single, Don't Make Me Over, a title she came up with after an argument with producers Burt Bacharach and Hal David. She was frustrated after learning that Make It Easy on Yourself, a song she had originally demoed and wanted as her first single, had been given to Jerry Butler. Inspired by her angry outburst, Bacharach and David turned the phrase into a hit. The song became a top 40 pop hit and a top 5 R&B hit. Interestingly, Warwick's name was misspelled on the single's label, leading her to adopt the Warwick spelling professionally and personally. Following the success of Don't Make Me Over, Warwick went on a tour of France, where critics dubbed her Paris's Black Pearl. She was introduced on stage at the Paris Olympia by Marlene Dietrich. Her next singles, This Empty Place and Make the Music Play, charted briefly in the top 100, but it was her fourth single, Anyone Who Had a Heart, released in November 1963, that marked her first top 10 hit in the U.S. and became an international million seller. Warwick's career continued to soar with Walk On By in 1964, another major international hit that solidified her place in the music industry. Throughout the 1960s, Warwick remained a constant presence on the U.S. and Canadian charts, with much of her music written and produced by the Bacharach-David team. She also weathered the British invasion better than most American artists, with hits like Walk On By and Do You Know the Way to San Jose? However, she was upset when British artists like Cilla Black and Dusty Springfield covered her Bacharach-David songs, including Black's version of Anyone Who Had a Heart, which topped the UK charts. Warwick felt insulted that record company executives in the UK preferred to have her songs recorded by others. She even confronted Cilla Black during a British tour, criticizing her version of You're My World, which Warwick later covered on her 1968 album Dionne Warwick in Valley of the Dolls. Warwick's achievements were widely recognized. In 1964, she was named Best-Selling Female Vocalist in the Cashbox magazine poll, and she continued to be honored as top female vocalist throughout the late 1960s and early 1970s. In 1969, Harvard's Hasty Pudding Society named her Woman of the Year. Her sound was celebrated in a Time cover article in 1965, which described her style as pleasurable but complex and fitting for chic gatherings. In 1965, Warwick's song Mr. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang was intended to be the theme song for the James Bond film Thunderball. However, producer Albert R. Broccoli insisted that the theme include the film's title, leading to the creation of Tom Jones's iconic Thunderball. Despite this, the melody of Warwick's song was incorporated into the film's score and later released on the 30th anniversary CD of Bond songs. Later successes. Warwick hit the top of the pop charts for the first time in 1974 with Then Came You, a collaboration with the Spinners. However, her career faced a slump in the following years. She made a strong comeback in 1979 with the ballad I'll Never Love This Way Again, which returned her to the charts. Warwick also became a popular presence on television, hosting the music program Solid Gold in the early 1980s. During this period, she had a series of successful collaborations. In 1982, she charted with Friends in Love alongside Johnny Mathis and Heartbreaker with Barry Gibb. But one of the biggest hits of her career came in 1985 with That's What Friends Are For, a song featuring Stevie Wonder, Elton John, and Gladys Knight. This #1 hit was an AIDS charity single written by Bacharach and Carol Bayer Sager. Warwick continued to find success with Love Power, a duet with Jeffrey Osborne, which became another major hit for her. Troubled times. Warwick faced several challenges beginning in the 1990s. In the late 90s, it was revealed that she had a lien placed against her for unpaid taxes. In 2002, Warwick was arrested at Miami International Airport for possessing marijuana after 11 marijuana cigarettes were found in her carry-on bag, hidden in a lipstick container. She was charged with possessing less than 5 grams of marijuana. She also experienced heartbreaking personal losses, including the death of her sister Dee Dee in 2008 and her cousin Whitney Houston in 2012. Despite these hardships, Warwick continued to perform and release new music. In 2012, Warwick marked her 50th anniversary in music with the album Now, which featured songs written by Bacharach and David. Reflecting on her long career, she told Jet magazine, "I really attribute it to remaining who I am and not jumping ship, being completely cognizant of what the people are accustomed to hearing from me." However, Warwick's personal life took center stage the following year. In March 2013, she made headlines when she declared bankruptcy. At the time, she owed more than $10 million in unpaid taxes, but reported only having $1,000 in cash and $1,500 in personal property. A spokesperson explained that Warwick's financial troubles were the result of negligent and gross financial mismanagement during the late 80s and 90s. Personal life. In 1966, Dionne Warwick married actor and drummer William Elliott, but the couple divorced in May 1967. They reconciled and remarried in Milan, Italy in August of the same year. Warwick gave birth to their first son, David Elliott, on January 18, 1969, while living in East Orange, New Jersey. Their second son, Damon Elliott, was born in 1973. However, the couple separated on May 30, 1975, and Warwick was granted a divorce later that year in December in Los Angeles. The court denied Elliott's request for spousal support, which included $2,000 a month, about $11,300 today, pending a community property trial, and $5,000 a month, claiming he was earning only $500 per month compared to Warwick's $100,000 monthly income, around $100,000, $566,000 today. Warwick explained, "I was the breadwinner." The male ego is a fragile thing. It's hard when the woman is the breadwinner. All my life, the only man who ever took care of me financially was my father. I've always taken care of myself. Warwick's son, David, a former Los Angeles police officer, co-wrote the duet "Love Will Find a Way" with Terry Steele for her 1993 album Friends Can Be Lovers, which also featured Whitney Houston. Since 2002, David has occasionally toured with his mother, performing duets and playing drums in her band. He made his acting debut in the film Ali as singer Sam Cooke and has gone on to become a singer-songwriter, with Luther Vandross, Here and Now, among his credits. Damon, her second son, is a successful music producer who has worked with artists such as Mia, Pink, Christina Aguilera, and Keisha Cole. He also arranged and produced Warwick's 2006 album, My Friends and Me. In 2014, Warwick earned a Grammy nomination in the traditional pop category for her 2013 album, Now. Both David and Damon keep their followers updated on Instagram, where they frequently share life moments and express admiration for their mom. It's clear from their posts that they hold Dionne in the highest regard, often showcasing her to the delight of their fans. Why Whitney Houston's funeral reignited Dionne Warwick and Aretha Franklin's feud. Whitney Houston's 2012 funeral was a star-studded event that not only paid tribute to the late singer, but also reignited a long-standing feud between two soul music legends, Dionne Warwick and Aretha Franklin. Among the many notable figures in attendance were Oprah Winfrey, Kevin Costner, Reverend Jesse Jackson, and, of course, Warwick herself. The service was held at New Hope Baptist Church in Newark, New Jersey, Houston's hometown, according to CBS News. Warwick, who was Houston's first cousin, spoke at the funeral, honoring the greatest love of all singer, who tragically passed away at the age of 48 due to an accidental drowning, with substance use and heart disease playing contributing factors. However, it was a remark Warwick made during her speech in which she referenced Franklin that triggered a sharp response from the Queen of Soul, reigniting their decades-old rivalry. Franklin, who was unable to attend the memorial due to health reasons, was reportedly not pleased with Warwick's comments. The tension between Warwick and Franklin reportedly began in the 1960s, during the height of their careers. Both artists were dominating the soul and R&B charts, and their rivalry was fueled by their competition for success. One notable moment occurred when Franklin covered Warwick's hit I Say a Little Prayer, with Bacharach himself suggesting that Franklin's version was superior. From there, the competition between the two only intensified, especially as they both worked with producer Clive Davis in the 1980s. Davis had also been instrumental in Whitney Houston's rise to fame, and Houston's mother, Sissy Houston, had sung backup for Franklin. Despite this, the relationship between Warwick and Franklin remained strained, with Franklin known for her sharp criticisms of other female artists. The tension flared up again during Houston's funeral, when Warwick mistakenly referred to Franklin as Houston's godmother. During her eulogy, Warwick introduced Franklin's name, seemingly unaware that Franklin was absent, and then added, "Ree's not here, but she is here. She loves Whitney as if she were born to her. She is her godmother." While Warwick likely meant it as a heartfelt tribute, Franklin later called the statement libelous. As AP reported, Franklin was hurt by the mischaracterization, especially considering that, although she had known Houston since childhood and had been close to her mother, she was not actually her godmother. 5 years later, Franklin publicly addressed the issue, expressing her discontent with Warwick's comment. When Warwick attempted to make amends by offering Franklin a hug at the Tribeca Film Festival, Franklin turned it down. Speaking to AP, Franklin bluntly said, "I don't think Dionne has ever liked me." But that is not all. There was an awkward moment when Dionne Warwick refuses to answer questions on tragic cousin Whitney Houston on live TV, leaving Susanna Reid cringing. Dionne Warwick didn't hold back during a live TV interview, shutting down questions about her late cousin Whitney Houston in a way that left Good Morning Britain host Susanna Reid scrambling to apologize. The soul legend appeared on the show to talk about the .com Children's Foundation, a charity she's supporting to help give disadvantaged kids better opportunities. However, when the conversation shifted toward Whitney, Dionne made it clear she wasn't going there. Your family has experienced tragedy, of course. Your cousin, Whitney Houston, Susanna began. But before Susanna could finish, Dionne interrupted, firmly saying, "We're not going to discuss that, okay? That's a bygone conclusion. We're not discussing that, we're here to discuss .com. Let's do that." Susanna, clearly caught off guard, tried to explain that the reason for the question was a recent documentary about Whitney's life. But Dionne wasn't having it. "I would just rather, first of all, it's a very personal thing, and why would you guys even want to continue to hurt me? Because that does hurt," Dionne said, clearly upset. She added, "Let's just leave it there and go on to talking about .com. A flustered Susanna quickly tried to sympathize, saying she totally respected Dionne's feelings, but Dionne wasn't ready to let it go. "Can we leave it there?" she demanded. Susanna and co-host Ben Shepherd quickly apologized. "I'm sorry that hurts, and you're absolutely right," Susanna said. Ben added, "That wasn't our intention, Dionne, so apologies for that." Dionne rarely speaks publicly about Whitney's death or that of her second cousin, Bobby Christina Brown, who passed away in 2015 after being in a coma for months. Before Bobby Christina's death, Dionne told the Daily Mirror she wasn't rushing to blame anyone for the 22-year-old's condition. "God has a plan for everybody, for better or worse. Of course, any death in my family is a very difficult thing, no matter who it is," she said. "You're losing a part of you. Everybody that's gone before me has taken a part of me with them." Bobby Christina was found unresponsive in January 2015 and spent several months in the hospital before passing away in a hospice in July. The circumstances surrounding her death echoed those of her mother Whitney, who died in 2012 at 48 after a long battle with addiction and personal struggles. Despite the painful family tragedies, Dionne has consistently refused to engage in public drama or blame others. She once said, "I felt like I lost a part of me when Whitney left me, but there was nothing that anyone could have done. That was Whitney's choice, unfortunately, and that was also the plan. That was God's plan. She was relieved of all the anxiety and traumas being plagued upon her." Dionne's reflections on loss come from a life full of personal tragedy. In 1968, her brother Mansell Jr. was killed in a car accident at just 21, and her sister Dionne Warwick passed away in 2008. Now, Dionne says she no longer fears death. "It's something everybody's got to do," she said. "The two best moments of my life so far were the birth of my two sons. The worst moment of my life I haven't experienced yet. Like everybody else, I have ups and downs in life." Dionne Warwick. Once revealed why she won't forgive people who claimed her sister abused Whitney Houston. Dionne Warwick was once accused of molesting Whitney Houston, and Dionne Warwick, the late singer's sister, has made it clear she'll never forgive those who spread such harmful claims. The accusations, which were revealed in a documentary about Whitney Houston, came from Whitney's former assistant, Marie Jones. Jones claimed that Whitney was molested by her own cousin, Dee, who was Dionne's sister. In an interview with People while promoting her album She's Back, Dionne expressed her outrage over the accusations against Dee, who passed away in 2008. She couldn't hold back her anger as she spoke about the false claims made about her late sister. Dionne said, "All I can say about Dee is that she was a loving, caring, giving person. What was depicted of her is absolutely untrue and something I will never forgive." In an effort to clear Dee's name, Whitney's mother, Sissy Houston, also spoke out. She released a statement on behalf of Dionne, clarifying that neither Whitney nor Dee Dee was alive to deny or confirm the accusations. She further explained that she, Dionne, and her son Michael had never heard such allegations before. Dionne, who had tried to avoid commenting on the issue in the past, finally spoke out. She dismissed the allegations, calling them totally hogwash. She emphasized that her late sister would never have harmed a child, especially not one within their own family. Dionne also condemned those who continued to tarnish Dee Dee's reputation, calling them evil, particularly since Dee Dee was no longer here to defend herself. Dionne Warwick is deeply saddened by the death of Aunt Sissy Houston. Dionne Warwick is speaking out following the death of her beloved aunt, Sissy Houston. On Tuesday, October 8, 2024, just a day after Sissy passed away at her home in Newark, New Jersey, Warwick, 83, shared a heartfelt statement on X. Sissy, who was 91, had been under hospice care for Alzheimer's disease. I'm so deeply saddened, however, knowing that my Aunt Sissy died peacefully and is now in a much better place brings me some comfort, Warwick wrote. I've seen all your messages of condolences, and on behalf of my family, thank you. Both Sissy and Warwick's musical careers began in the family gospel group, the Drinkard Singers, which was managed by Warwick's mother, Lee, who was also Sissy's sister. I called her Aunt Sissy growing up, Warwick recalled in a 2022 interview with People. Because we were so close in age, I always saw her as more of an older sister. It was heaven when we all sang together. Warwick also remembered Sissy's incredible voice, one that was passed down to her daughter, Whitney. Whitney came up exactly the way we all did in the church choir, Warwick shared. It was preordained. She was meant to sing. Her destiny was just like the rest of our families, as if God pointed a finger at us and said, let them vocal cords do what they gotta do. In the year following Whitney's tragic death in 2012, Sissy published the book Remembering Whitney, with Warwick writing the foreword. Sissy might have felt like an older sister to us, but she never let us forget she was our aunt, Warwick wrote in the foreword. She was a strong young woman then, and she is a strong, loving woman now. Sissy has always wanted the best for everyone in her family. She's always been there with encouragement and support, and she's offered advice whenever she could. In the book's acknowledgments, Sissy also thanked Warwick for her support over the years. Sissy's death was confirmed by her daughter-in-law, Pat Houston, who shared a statement saying the family has lost the matriarch of our family. The statement described Sissy as a strong and towering figure in our lives who was deeply committed to family, ministry, and community. Her more than 7-decade career in music and entertainment will remain at the forefront of our hearts, the statement continued. Her contributions to popular music and culture are unparalleled. We are blessed and grateful that God allowed her to spend so many years with us, and we are thankful for the many valuable life lessons she taught us. May she rest in peace, alongside her daughter Whitney, granddaughter Bobby Christina, and other cherished family members. Dionne Warwick unsurprisingly nails her response to online death hoax. The rumors about Dionne Warwick's death have been greatly exaggerated. Recently, a Twitter user shared a screenshot of a YouTube video titled, "The Life and Sad Ending of Dionne Warwick," captioning it with, "According to YouTube, at Dionne Warwick is dead." 2 days later, the legendary singer responded to the false claim with a simple, "Oh no." Dionne, known for her witty and candid personality, has been a hit on social media for months. Encouraged by her niece Brittany Warwick, a digital marketing specialist, to share her thoughts. Despite being an active Twitter user, Dionne's bio simply reads, "I am not writing a bio." Last year, she made headlines when she jokingly called out Chance the Rapper and The Weeknd over their stage names. She tweeted to Chance, whose real name is Chancellor Jonathan Bennett, "Hi, At Chance the Rapper. If you are very obviously a rapper, why did you put it in your stage name? I cannot stop thinking about this. She compared it to her own name being Dionne the Singer. Chance responded with good humor, writing, "Sorry, I'm still freaking out that you know who I am. This is amazing." Dionne didn't stop there. She took aim at The Weeknd as well. The Weeknd is next. Why? It's not even spelled correctly? The Save Your Tears singer Abel Tesfaye took it all in stride, replying, "I just got roasted by Dionne Warwick and I feel honored. You just made my day." Dionne has also shared her thoughts on other topics, like when news broke that Regé-Jean Page wouldn't return for Season 2 of Bridgerton. She tweeted, "No at Regé-Jean. You cannot leave me like that. I will not have it." So, despite the rumors, Dionne is very much alive and still speaking her mind. Exactly what we're all thinking. Dionne Warwick reveals key to her 60 years of success in the industry. Dionne Warwick says people shouldn't expect her to do things she's not capable of, as she opens up about her recording comeback and the valuable advice she's learned from her idols. After a 5-year hiatus, Warwick has returned with 2 albums and a Vegas residency. But the legendary singer humbly admits, "I'm still learning. I don't know how thick my skin is," Warwick told Atlanta Black Star. "I've been in the industry for over 60 years. I have a lot to share, if asked." Warwick is clear about one thing. "I am me. I don't try to be somebody I know I can't be." Though many view her as an icon, she remains humble, acknowledging that she still has much to learn. She's not yet where her mentors, such as Lena Horne, Ella Fitzgerald, and Sammy Davis Jr., were in their careers. "I'm still learning," she says, even after nearly 60 years in the business. Warwick credits her success to the advice she received from those same idols. "They all said the same thing to me. Always be who you are. You cannot be anyone else." I think that's advice everyone should take to heart. When it comes to younger generations of artists, Warwick doesn't offer advice, but rather encouragement. "I don't know how thick my skin is," she says. "I've been in the industry for over 60 years. I have a lot I can share if asked. And I don't give advice. I give encouragement." In an interview with Essence earlier this year, Warwick mentioned Beyoncé as a potential icon, but also acknowledged that the singer still has a long way to go compared to her legendary idols. "I think Beyoncé is an icon to those who feel she is," she said. "I'm so proud of her. But when you compare her to an Ella Fitzgerald, I think it takes a little foresight." In addition to her 2 albums, Warwick is currently in a limited engagement at Cleopatra's Barge in Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas, running until March 2020. "It's been quite interesting," she said. "It's been a joy. The audiences are wonderful. They seem to enjoy what they came to see and hear. We'll be here for a while." Now that she's back in the swing of things, Warwick plans to record more music in the future, but fans shouldn't expect her to be anyone other than herself. "I am me," she says. "I don't try to be someone I know I can't be." Warwick believes it's pointless to try and reinvent herself, especially when what people truly want is the real Dionne Warwick. And we couldn't agree more. There's no one quite like her. Dionne Warwick reveals her secret to happiness and fulfillment at age 84. Dionne Warwick may be turning 84 in December, but she shows no signs of slowing down. With a new book in the works, a television show in development, an album on the way, and an ongoing tour, the vibrant singer stays incredibly busy. "Life always excites me," Dionne shared with Hello at jazz pianist Todd Hunter's album release party for Postcards from Brazil, Volume 2 at Burbank's Urban Press Winery in California last week. "Waking up in the morning and listening to music gives me incredible inspiration. I love life. It's just who I am." On the album, Dionne sings New Beginning, an English translation of Ivan Lin's hit Começar de Novo. She expressed her excitement about being part of the project, especially since it features one of her favorite artists. "I am truly thrilled to be a part of this album, and happy to be singing this song," she said. Todd, who worked with the legendary singer on the album, describes the experience as fabulous, fantastic, amazing, and masterful. He added, "It's an honor to share the stage with Dionne Warwick. Every show is a lesson in greatness." For Dionne, the joy of performing comes from the connection she feels with her audience. Music is a healing force. I can't imagine living in a world without music. It takes you to places you've never been. It makes you happy. It makes you sad. All the qualities of life. That's what music is. She loves looking into the audience and seeing the smiles, hearing people sing along, and feeling the energy in the room. That means I'm doing something right. One of the highlights for Dionne is performing alongside her granddaughter, Cheyenne Elliott, who recently joined her for 3 shows. "She is my biggest mentor and one of my best friends," Cheyenne shared. "She inspires me all the time. I love her very much and support her too." In addition to music, Dionne has been busy working on a new book, tentatively titled What the World Needs Now: Messages of Love and Hope, but no advice 'cause no one listens anyway. She hopes the book will uplift readers with its mix of anecdotes, lessons, and lighthearted moments. "It's an inspirational book, not too heavy. It's going to be fun to read," she said. Dionne is also developing a television series based on her autobiography, My Life as I See It, with singer and actress Teyana Taylor playing a young Dionne. "It's the most amazing thing in the world," Dionne marveled. "My son sent me a photograph of her and a photograph of me, side by side. I thought I was looking at me. She's so much like me, it's scary. She's a wonderful actress and a good singer, too. It's going to be a joy working with her." Just in time for her birthday, Dionne will be honored at the Kennedy Center Honors in December, with the ceremony airing on CBS at a later date. "I think it's wonderful that I'm being recognized finally by the center," she said. "I've performed for several of the honorees at different times. I'm very, very excited about this." When talking to Dionne, her confidence is undeniable. "I like me. I am who I am and will always be. I know my skin very well. I was brought up to be who I am, taught to be kind, generous, honest, prayerful, all those things. I carry that with me. I don't look for joy. Joy is a part of me." As a guest vocalist on Todd's new album, Dionne continues to share her passion for Brazil, a place she calls home. "It's such a good title for an album. I lived in Brazil for 25 years, and I go back there every other year," she explains. "Brazil is home for me. There are beautiful musicians and incredible recording artists there." At 84, Dionne is still going strong, bringing joy and inspiration to everyone around her.